Hello YouTube. This is the ride that I took. I wound up going into work because we got some new time clocks that I had to get signed up for, and by the time I get there everybody in the office is gone. So I went in on my last day off, unfortunately. Fortunately, I was able to take a ride, which is pretty awesome being the middle part of December. It is actually warm today. Unfortunately, it rained, so I'm definitely not going out on wet, salty roads. And I would like to start a thing where everybody does a bit of trivia that we might not know about, like as far as old bikes go, or like Harley Davidson history, or any of the old American manufacturers' history. There was like over 60 American manufacturers back in the early 1900s and late 1800s. So that's kind of interesting, I thought, when I heard about that. The way Harley Davidson actually wound up overcoming Indian was they each got a chance to bid on a contract for the Army after the war. World War II. I guess it was kind of right at the very tail end of it. But they were asked both to make 500cc motorcycles, and Harley wound up cheating and doing a 750. And of course, the guys liked the 750 much better. And Harley wound up getting the contract, and soon thereafter, like I think it was about 6 years after, Indian wound up going out of business. And then they were like in 01, somebody picked them up, but they were using the S&S engines, which is, you know, kind of that's what a lot of the Harley guys put in their bikes for hop-ups. And they didn't really hold up very well, so they didn't last very long. But now Polaris owns Indian, and they've got a hell of a nice motor, 111 cubic inches, and it performs the way, you know, a Polaris would. You know, the Victories and Polaris products are a pretty damn good company as far as longevity and holding their value and what have you. And they're making them with the old style look, which I think a lot of people are very happy about. They also are making that kind of entry-level $11,000 Scout, which is a very nice, you know, pretty performance-oriented bike for a cruiser. So I think that was definitely a smart move on their part as well. So yeah, stuff like that. You know, back at the beginning, when Honda came over, and, you know, everybody thought that they wouldn't last, and just like their cars, they wound up kicking ass. Speaking of cars, that new Civic and Civic R is going to be a really nice car. It looks awesome. So yeah, anyways, I was glad to be able to get out here and get a ride on, and quite a lovely day. On the way home, it was a little bit unfortunate. I actually wound up staying late for orientation because the hotel where I work actually wound up getting bought out by a huge company that owns places all over the United States. But during the orientation, I found out that they own the only hotel on Lake Havasu, and we can get really awesome deals at any of the hotels around the country and in Canada. So that will be an awesome opportunity if I ever get to making enough money to be able to take a vacation. I would always love to go out to Arizona, especially. I actually almost wound up doing that. We sold everything, and like less than a week before we moved out west, I wound up finding the land that I bought here. And that's the way Vermont is. It holds you. You know, I'm 11th generation Vermonter, and I guess I wouldn't have it any other way, because I'm sure I would miss the mountains and the seasons. But as a rider, you always dream of that you know, being able to ride year round. Of course, out there you've got to worry about 120-degree days and the pavement melting under your frickin' tires, so I'm not sure I'd like that much better. Anyhow, I would love to be able to go out there. You know, it's a pretty interesting story behind Lake Havasu as well. Just to be able to get out there and experience it in the wintertime, I think probably would make me the most happy and appreciative, so I didn't have to go out there in July or some shit. But anyways, I've liked watching a lot of the Arizona motor vloggers out there. They do a pretty good job. And must be nice to be out there at least for 8 months out of the year anyways. So coming up right here, I'm going to see a thermometer on the side of the bank, and it says it's 42 degrees in the sunshine, and that's probably about right. Everything on me was perfect except for my fingers, which were literally frostbitten by the time I got home. It was dark, and you know, it had gotten down to 35 degrees at that point, and without the sun, it really makes a big difference. But like I said, I mean, even my new boots held up really well. They are not insulated or anything, they're just waterproof, like I had said. And my toes never got cold. I think they're a teeny bit stiff, so, you know, it was a little bit hard to find exactly where the shifter is on my foot. That's one reason I like to wear really light boots and things like that, because I really like to feel where everything is on my feet. But once I get those a little more broken in and used to, I think those are going to be a really nice all-around boot. I don't think they're going to be too hot when it is hot. And they'll definitely work good when the roads are a little wet for not soaking my feet. Nothing worse than that, really. This here is what we call Mo Vegas, otherwise known as Morrisville or Morristown. This is the only little town I gotta drive through before I get to my job, which is nice. Usually pretty quiet road. And yeah, actually this is the town I was born in way back in the day. And all of my kids have been born there as well, which is kind of cool. So anyhow, I hope everybody has accepted Dan's challenge of a vlog every day. Especially those of you that are in climates where you can actually ride every day. But that's why I got the idea of just doing the trivia. You know, stuff that you know, not stuff that you take off the internet and are going to stump everybody on, you know. I would kind of rather that, but whatever it is, I suppose will be fun, and we'll all learn a little something. So, that was my idea for covering time for those people and those of us who can't get out to ride every day. And hope you all have fun and enjoy life on two wheels.